States.
Hi, this is Jeff Charles, and welcome inside the booth. Doc has retired. I'll have some thoughts next.
This football season, prepare your taste buds for the most iconic sports-watching drink of all time, Pepsi. Designed to power even the most passionate of armchair quarterbacks, Pepsi has everything you need to start strong, keep you in the zone, and recover from those triumphant wins.
Before I was just your average football fan, but thanks to Pepsi, I'm a football-watching MVP. Nothing can stop me from cheering my team on to victory or overreacting when the ref makes a bad call. What do you mean he wasn't in? That looks like 2 feet to me.
With refreshing deliciousness specially formulated to keep your eye on the ball and mouth-watering fizziness to help you power through game day, Pepsi is the premier football-watching beverage.
I used to care when Mike cheered so hard he spilled nacho cheese on my carpet or wiped buffalo sauce on my new couch. But thanks to Pepsi, I'm so in the zone, even Mike can't ruin my football party. See? Don't even care.
So this football season, make Pepsi your go-to game day drink because it's the only drink made for football watching. Pepsi, that's what I like.
His name is Mike Emmerich, known as Doc Emmerich, and recognized as the premier hockey play-by-play announcer of his generation. At age 74, he announced his retirement from NBC and will move into a new chapter in his life in St. Clair, Michigan, a town just outside of Port Huron, Michigan, where he got his career started as the voice of the Port Huron Flags in the old International Hockey League. The name Doc comes from a doctorate's degree he earned at Bowling Green. He kicked around the minor leagues and then got his NHL break with the New Jersey Devils. From small town LaFountain, Indiana, where his parents were educators, he was influenced by play-by-play announcer Bob Chase, who served as the voice of the Fort Wayne Comets for an astounding 63 years. Doc went to a hockey game as a youngster and decided right then and there he wanted to be a play-by-play announcer. He was known for his descriptive presentation and known for his first-class, humble demeanor. He'll rescue animals now in retirement, a man with a kind heart who just happened to be a great play-by-play announcer. Mike Doc Emmerich, a hockey treasure. Come back again next time, and we'll visit inside the booth.
This is Pirate Radio, WGHB Farmville, 1250 and 92.7 FM Greenville, WDLX Washington, 930 and 104.1 FM Washington. The following is an exclusive presentation of Pirate Radio, the voice of the pirate nation. This is Eastern North Carolina's longest-running sports radio call-in show. The Brian Bailey Show is on the air. The Brian Bailey Show on Pirate Radio is brought to you by
Bostic Sugg Furniture, Bojangles, East Coast Grading, Angus Grill, Gavigan Insurance, BMS Builders, The Rick House, Greenville Auto World, Papa John's, Pepsi, Taft and Hagler, and by Tiebreakers.
And now, here's Brian Bailey.
Happy Monday, everybody, and welcome into our show. East Carolina coming off that 55-17 loss at the hands of number 7 Cincinnati, now heads to Philadelphia, PA, Temple, and East Carolina is a noon start coming up this Saturday. We are thrilled to have the offensive coordinator at East Carolina. He is Donnie Kirkpatrick joining us for this hour. He's the most entertaining guest you can ever get. You can ask one question, you can kick back for about 15 or 20 minutes and just let him ride. But Donnie, we appreciate you coming on today. I know you guys have looked at the tape and watched the Cincinnati loss and ready to bounce back this week, right?
Well, we obviously have watched it quite a few times. We watch it, really right after the game. With modern technology, they have it to you about an hour after the game, so we're able to watch it on the bus and on the plane. And then again, you probably watch it again a little bit the next day to see what you missed there. And then we meet with as a staff, and we watch it as a staff, and we watch it with Coach Houston, and then we watch it with the players. So if that is not enough to make you throw up when it's about 20 pounds right there, then I don't know what will, because we watch it a lot. And, obviously they're an outstanding team, so I wouldn't want to ever take anything away from them. I feel like we could have played a little better. I think the whole team probably has that same mindset. But in this business, you got to put that behind you. You got to flush it after about 24 hours because nobody cares. The next team's ready to play. And, right now we're neck deep in watching tape of the Temple Owls.
Well, when you looked at the tape the other night, Donnie, take us through the biggest turnover of the game came early when you guys got a turnover at the goal line, and then turned around and Holton threw a pick six, and it was really one of those that the average fan watching, which I'll consider myself, I'm watching the game, and I look and I see out in the flat, and it looked like he just didn't even see the guy out in the flat. He picks it off, runs it back for the touchdown. What did you see on tape on that?
Well, that's exactly right, and the turnovers have hurt us all year, in games, and they surely did the other night because I don't know how that one got away from us so much. I really felt like we were going to be in a close battle with them. What really happened was we had a kid that he didn't really run the wrong route. They ran the route incorrectly, and they ran what we call a one-rat coverage, which is man coverage, but they've got free guys. We call them the rat because they're in there to steal, and he's kind of spying a little bit, and we thought that the guy was going to cover the inside receiver, which we kind of try to set it up to where that happens, and he threw to what he thought was an open receiver, but he didn't see the rat in there, and the rat made a good play and picked it, and it is a throw out there wide, so it's hard to defend it after he catches it, and it was a short field to start with. So that was a pick six, and that was a huge momentum, I think, shift, in that game. And we had some other opportunities, though. We had some other drives. We could have kept that thing a little bit closer, but that was a big play in the game, no doubt.
How hard is it when that play happens? Do you get on the horn and just say, "Hey, look, you talked about flushing it, but you got to flush that one quickly, don't you?"
Well, you do, and as soon as they get to the sideline, he go out because I'm in the press box now. We have a player phone, so the thing you want to know is what did you see, what did you not see, and then let him know. Well, this is what we saw from the press box, and of course we have more eyes than he does, so we have a chance. And then sometimes we can catch the replay up there as well. So you just try to feed them that information to prevent the next situation from happening, on that like that. So when you throw a pick six. Obviously, you got to go back out there, so you don't have a lot of time. So that it kind of helps. And we came back first play, ran a little play action bootleg, and he makes a nice throw to CJ. And I kind of wanted to get him to get some success right after that. You don't want to wait too long before that next throw. You want to. I think it helps to flush it if you can go out there and make a good throw and get him to completion. And we did do that, and we got something going a little bit after that.
Donnie, you think it hurt a little bit that you guys were so successful against them last year offensively? I mean, Holton with the 535 yards and 4 touchdowns, were they that much in tune to what you guys were trying to do? Because it's hard. Holton threw for 87 yards, 9 of 20 with 3 picks. I mean, it didn't look like the same, offense at all, and you guys had so much success against them last year.
Well, we did have a great night against them the year before, and they were a really outstanding defense last year too. I think they've improved. I think they're even better this year, and I'm sure that was something because nobody has moved the ball them at all like that or scored points like that at all in the 2 years. And so I'm sure it was something that they had marked on their calendars. They probably used to motivate their kids throughout the all season and through the preseason. And I think they did. They met the challenge on that. Now, what they did was they defended the pass very well. They did not defend the run nearly as well as they defended the run. And we kind of sensed that somewhat into the second quarter that they're playing the pass. They were dropping 8 for the most part, and then bringing some blitzes. But they were really playing the pass hard. They were really playing CJ hard, obviously, after the year that he had the game he had the year before.
Yeah.
So we did have success running the ball. It's just we got too far behind, and, we didn't have enough time to catch up by running the ball probably. That's what they were giving us, and I don't know. You got to give them some credit like that. Like I say, nobody had scored. They were giving up 10 points a game, this year. Nobody's been able to do much against them. I felt like we could have done more than we did, though, in that game.
You look at the running backs, and the future is so bright at East Carolina with Rajay Harris and Keaton Mitchell. And I asked Coach Houston after the game, I said, this was kind of Keaton's coming out party. And he said, you guys have been waiting on it because he's an outstanding running back. Rajay's had all the headlines so far, but they are a great 1-2 punch, aren't they?
Well, I really hope that, we like to say that could be the thunder and lightning, and I do think that's probably the future for us right there. And, hopefully we can sign some more people at some other positions with that ability. Keaton had showed flashes. He showed flashes in the preseason. He'd shown a few flashes early, I thought, in the Central Florida game. He'd been a little banged up, and I think just maybe the grind of college football he was having to adjust to, and Raji maybe had adjusted a little quicker and gotten off to maybe the better start. But they really do complement each other well, and when you can have two of them, then you can really have a great rushing attack. And, the thing they've got to work on now is the stuff like when they don't have the ball. They both do a great job running the ball. They both do a great job of catching the ball out of the backfield, and they showed that in that game. Both guys got exposed a little bit in some pass protection and hurt us, and that's part of being a freshman. And unfortunately, you just got to learn fast. You got to learn on the job, and we got to get them up to speed to where they can play in all aspects of the game. But they're going to be great players, and we're really excited about the future. We're just trying to keep everybody from jumping off the little edge right now and cutting a wrist, because we know that we are improving. Sometimes we're not seeing that in the results, obviously, because it's a win business, and that's really all that matters. In the end, is if you win or if you lose. So we're not having that amount of success doing that, but we do know that we are turning the corner. We're making some strides, and this is kind of a free year, I guess, or a year where everybody will get it back if they want it back. So I think we're really young now. We're still going to probably be pretty young next year, but I think that we are trending in the right direction.
Talking with Donnie Kirkpatrick, offensive coordinator at East Carolina, on this Monday, kicking off your football weekend of the football week. And this week, the Pirates go up to Philadelphia to take on Temple. We'll talk more about that coming up in just a bit. We'll take our first commercial break. Back with more with Donnie K after this.
Bostic Sugg Furniture is overstacked and overstocked. Overflowing inventory means clear out prices. Hurry in and take advantage of the biggest and best deals throughout our showroom. Save up to 20% off the best furniture brands: Lazy Boy, Bassett, Kincaid, Rowe, and Restonic mattresses. Plus, just for this sale, 12 months special financing or choose 48 months special financing. There's savings on top of savings. We're overstacked and overstocked, and that means big savings for you at Bostic Sugg Furniture.
More meat ounces means more meat bounces. Get any papadilla like the new double cheeseburger papadilla for just $6. Papa John's.
Hey, Pirate fans, the Papadillas are part sandwich, part pizza, at only $6 each. The new cheeseburger Papadilla is an MVP move for game day or any day. Place your order online at papajohns.com and sign up for Papa Rewards. Papa John's, the official pizza of the ECU Pirates.
I'm Michael Vaughn with East Coast Grading and Utilities. Many of you know my dad, David Vaughn, and his work in putting in subdivisions all over Pirate Nation. But East Coast Grading and Utilities is not just for those type of big jobs. We're here for the homeowners. Whether it's concrete, driveways, hauling rock, or sand, whatever you need, East Coast Grading and Utilities can get the job done. Call us at 252-531-7494 or check us out on Facebook at East Coast Grading and Utilities.
The Rick House is Eastern North Carolina's premier American-styled restaurant and bar. Join us at the Rick House for mouth-watering steaks and the best burgers around. Check out the spicy mahi risotto or the bourbon pecan salmon. Wednesday night is date night. 2 salads, an appetizer, a bottle of wine, 2 entrees, and a dessert for just $55. Thursday is ladies' night with $5 martinis and special apps. The Rick House, American Provisions and Spirits, 710 Red Banks Road beside the bowling alley in Greenville. The Rick House.
While other folks come and go, Greenville Pool & Supply has been your local pool store in Greenville and Eastern North Carolina for over 40 years. Are you finding yourself spending more time at home than ever before? If so, turn your backyard into a vacation destination. Greenville Pool has pools for any size backyard. Choose from the very popular fiberglass, classic vinyl, or custom concrete. If you order your pool now, it could be in by this spring. If you're ready for a pool, contact the pros at Greenville Pool & Supply.
Turkey, ham, bacon. These and other meats are great around the holidays and every other day, but they all leave behind grease when you cook them, and grease is a real pain in the drain. When you pour grease down a drain, it cools and can clog sewer lines. That can lead to sewer spills, which are messy, bad for the environment, and can also be expensive. Never pour grease down the drain. Instead, collect it in a container like a used soup can or jar. Let it cool and throw it away in the trash. Together, we can protect our sewer system and the environment. For more information, go to GUC.com.
Pirate Radio.
Join the crew.
Fire those things that go bang.
Abandon ship!
The voice of the Pirate Nation. You're listening to The Brian Bailey Show. Now, back to Brian.
All right, welcome back on this Monday. We're taking your questions and comments on our Facebook Live page. If you'd like to get something in, we'll get them to Donnie Kirkpatrick, offensive coordinator at East Carolina, who is joining us to get us ready for the Temple game this weekend. The Temple game is a noon start. The SMU game just announced will be a noon start back at Dowdy-Ficklin Stadium as the Pirates wrap up the 2020 college football slate, unless there's a game added, and we understand at this point it doesn't look like we're going to add one on December the 5th, so probably just 2 games left. Coach, let me ask you this while I'm thinking about it. I know you haven't been a part of this situation before because I don't think anybody has, but Cal and UCLA this past week were playing different opponents on Wednesday, and then by Thursday, they were playing one another. How crazy would that be for a week?
You know, that'd be insane. That'd be for football. I know that other sports, I think you probably could do that. I saw where somebody out there, some talking head guru, had said they should have moved the Iron Bowl up. You know, they'd have 5 days to prepare, and they know each other pretty well. But that would be it'd be interesting to try to game plan a game when you switch opponents like that. But you know, earlier in the year, we did have a discussion about this, and we had been told that you know, Wednesday would be the cutoff, that if the team canceled, that you might be able to reschedule another game, you know, as long as you knew by Wednesday, I guess. So I don't know. Hadn't been a part of that. Hope I'm not a part of that. That would be a new trend. It'd be something I don't know how anybody would know how to react to that.
You know, and Coach Houston was saying today, and obviously he didn't give any names because of, you know, privacy and HIPAA and everything like that, but he said, you know, this COVID thing has been so crazy that the other day on the bus, you guys lost 2 players through contact tracing that you had no idea that was going to happen. So you have to adjust on the fly, don't you?
You know, that we've been very fortunate. Our kids have done a great job, and the administration here and the training staff and the medical people, you know, have just done such a great job of keeping it under control here. But we have had a couple of situations that have stung us. Obviously, the one with our quarterback against Navy when we found out on Tuesday, and then we lost a couple of other players because of the contact tracing on the airplane. And then literally we were in the gym because it was raining for a walkthrough, and I found out that we had lost one of our key players for the game as well there. And you have no time to prepare for that. You know what I'm saying? It's not like you can move somebody or you can get somebody coached up on their assignments for that game plan. So I'm sure other teams are dealing with it as well. You know, you don't know how or who it is because nobody releases that. You can't see that happen on film. You know, you see a guy get hurt on film, and you know you can find out what's going on with him if the guy's not going to play that next week. But it's just been interesting times. The whole year's been very, very strange. I guess we're very fortunate that we have gotten to play as much as we've gotten to play because I do think it makes us better. I think it's really helped the young kids to grow up and, you know, and get all this experience from playing. So I guess we'll just have to be happy that we've gotten that done. But I hope that we don't have another season where we have to go through these pause periods, lose the training, you know, lose the weight room, lose the conditioning. It's really made the game different. You know, not having the crowds there obviously have made the game have a strange feeling to them as well. But it is what it is.
Yeah, because most of the teams in the American don't have that much of a home field advantage like East Carolina does. I mean, when East Carolina's winning football games and that place is, got 45,000 fans, 50,000 fans, I mean, you're cranked up, rocking and rolling, ready to go, and it just hasn't been, it's so different. I mean, 3,500 fans in the stands, and with everything you guys have to, I can't imagine what it's like to go to work and get tested 3 times a week. I mean, you got horror stories, don't you?
Well, I tell you what, it's not the most fun thing. We had one this morning, and I know the ladies that give us the test are so nice, and they try to be so gentle, and they're so sensitive to it. And they were telling us, hey, I think it's only 3 more times this year for you, Coach. You can just hang in there. And so, we're again. I guess you're just glad when you get the results that you're negative, though. So you put that, as something that's worth knowing. And again, it's just a strange year, and I guess it is the home games that have just been so odd. Not to have recruits here, not to have the crowd here, not to have that atmosphere. It's just made it seem a little bit like it's maybe a dream, or it's not a real season almost, a little bit, just because it's just had such a strange feeling. But again, feel very, very fortunate that we've gotten to play and gotten to do as much as we've gotten to do, because I know other people have suffered a lot more than we have.
And, you look at all the young players on this team, and now they've gotten a firsthand look at what it takes to win in this league. And they haven't had the success you guys wanted this season, but hopefully that will manifest itself. And the one thing you kind of touched on that I think is critical at an East Carolina is the off-season workouts and the summer camp and all that stuff, because that's when you chisel these guys and you win some games from that aspect, don't you?
You do, because at East Carolina, you're not going to get the 5-star kids that are already big enough, fast enough, strong enough, and have the experience. But you're going to get great players here. You're going to get Justin Hardy. You're going to get Zay Jones. You're going to get Eric Graham. You're going to get a ton of great players here. I mean, the roster or the history is full of guys that have proven that, not just going on to the next level, because that's not all it's all about, but they've just had great college careers. But you do get the kids, for the most part, that are late maturing physically or something, or have come from a program that did not have a great weight room, or did not have a lot of coaches, or did not play against great competition. So their best football is so much ahead of them once they get here, and that's just been what this program's been built on, is those type of young men. So losing that, we were speaking earlier this morning about, what could we have done different during the pandemic? What could we have done different during the shutdown back in the spring? But nobody knew what to do. Nobody knew. When we went first home to work at home, we were told, you're going to have to go home for 2 weeks and work at home. And everybody was like, 2 weeks? Man, no way can we be gone for 2 weeks. We're going to miss a whole week of spring, practice. Wow. If it would have only been 2 weeks, wow, would that have been different?
Yeah.
It's been the whole year. It has been different. So, again, I'm sure other schools have had the same issues. I don't know if it's just, magnified a little bit more here or not, but we do have an extremely young roster. Like I say, 2 running backs, they're both freshmen. The offensive line is full of redshirt freshmen up there, are guys that are playing for the first time. So it's been great to grow them up. I think when the kids come out of high school, they're so used to just dominating at the high school level that they often have no idea how hard and how committed you're going to have to be really good, or to be great, or to play like on a championship team. The American Conference is the real deal. It's a legitimate conference. It's a legitimate teams in there that have commitment. And so it's a high level of competition. So now at least those freshmen or those redshirt freshmen that have been in these games, they realize, okay, this all season, I really do have to kick it in. I've got to start eating better. I've got to start living better. I got to lift on a regular basis. I've got to really get committed to my craft and to my body if I want to play at a high level and we want to have a championship team here. So all that's just invaluable for next season. I know we're jumping ahead. We got 2 games left, and we're going to really, really try to go play hard and win both of these games. And I think they're 2 games that we actually can go win. And I think our kids still want to do that. We just need to get something positive going. We need to play complementary football between, the kicking game, the defense, and the offense, and put it all together and reach our potential here and finish off on a good note, and then go into an off season with some good motivation and some excitement.
Yeah, I agree. You got 2 big games coming up, but when you get through those 2 games, do you even have a plan yet of what you can and can't do as far as off-season workouts? I mean, is there a plan in place where you have to be tested once a week or tested, still 3 times a week, or is all that still kind of, in flux right now?
That's in flux.
Yeah.
That really is, because the other thing that's strange is that the kids are in exams today. Exams started here today, which is way scheduled than we've ever had before. So we're going to have to adjust practices the rest of this week around those exams, which normally, they don't happen this quickly. So the protocols for all this, nobody ever thought this would still be going on. The political part that's been involved in it, and then what are the mandates? We're hearing rumors, and we're going into Philadelphia. Philadelphia is going back into a little bit of a shutdown mode. That's going to affect our travel. That's going to affect our meeting time. It's going to affect how we eat, they're saying, and how many people can be in one room at a time. So, there's a lot of things, there's a lot of people working on those things right now, while the coaches are in here working on trying to find a way to make first downs and touchdowns against the Temple, and the defense is trying to find a way to stop them. But the off season is being discussed as far as strength, coaches and coaches when we can, but nobody really knows when we'll start and how all the spring semester. We don't even know if the students are coming back for sure in the spring or not. So there's a lot of stuff that's making it really, really unique and not in a good way to develop your program. But we're working on it, and we're going to figure it out. And but it's right now, it's day by day almost.
That's an interesting point about Philadelphia and what's going on up there, and you really don't even think, that's the thing. In a normal year, you think, okay, in a normal year, the one thing you're worried about if you're going to Philadelphia is looking at the weather forecast. Wouldn't you think? Right. And I think it's going to be pretty good, isn't it?
It is, because that's for sure. We looked, about the Cincinnati game. We knew we had Cincinnati late in the year in a night game on a Friday night. We knew that we would be at Temple in late, mid to November. Could have really bad weather there too. So I think we caught a good break the other night. It was a beautiful night. They were going to catch a great day. We got a noon kickoff in Philadelphia. But you're right; those have been things that we've looked at, but that hasn't been much in the conversation. There's been so many other things that they're asking you about. That what kind of space do you need? You're not going to have this kind of space to meet. What do we need to do more meeting at home before we leave? I'm glad I don't have to deal with too many of those decisions, but you do get involved in them a little bit.
Yeah, that's just, in some ways it's heartbreaking, because all you want to do is go play a game. I mean that's the whole idea of the season, and I know there's a certain faction out there that says sports is just sports, but I think during the lockdown, and I knew it anyway, but a lot of people learned that sports was much more than just sports, because the country needed sports to come back, didn't it?
I think so, and I think that's why I say I guess we're glad that we are playing. I know there's been some negativity to it. There's been a lot of games that have been canceled, and people have had their opinions about it one way or the other. But I think all in all, I think everybody is glad that there has been football. There's been something, on TV to watch. People haven't really gotten to go to the game, maybe just the parents or some people like that, but at least the parents have gotten to come and see their kids, because you never know when their last game is too, for seniors or for anybody else, because of injury or other type things that happen. So, but strange year, it's just strange year, and we just really hope that this will end and we'll all get back to normal as soon as possible.
Looking forward to New Year's Eve in 2020 and get this thing out of here. Donnie Kirkpatrick, offensive coordinator at East Carolina, is our guest. We'll take another commercial break. Back with more, back with your questions, comments on our Facebook Live page as well. Back after this. Hi, this
is Jeff Charles, and this is a Pirate Radio Sports Break presented by Ron Ayers Motorsports, your home for Honda, Kawasaki, Yamaha, and Suzuki motorcycles, plus power equipment too. Ron Ayers, north of the airport on Highway 11 in Greenville. Tom Brady torched the Carolina Panthers, throwing for 341 yards and 3 touchdowns as the Tampa Bay Bucks won in Charlotte 46-23. The Panthers fall to 3-7. The Bucks are 7-3. The Washington football team lost to the Lions 30-27. Detroit kicker Matt Prater kicked a 59-yard field goal as time expired. The Steelers are 9-0 after a 36-10 win over the Bengals. Sunday Night Football, the Ravens lost to the Patriots 23-17. Tonight, the Bears will host the Vikings. We'll have the game on Pirate Radio beginning at 8 o'clock. South Carolina football coach Will Muschamp has been fired. The AP Top 25 is out. Alabama number 1, Notre Dame 2, Ohio State 3rd, and Clemson number 4. This has been a Pirate Radio Sports Break.
Did you know that every year in the United States, 7,000 people become HVAC technicians? But did you also know that every year, 10,000 HVAC technicians retire? This is HB Moore with Tradesformers, a youth apprenticeship program designed to connect talented students with growing industry trades in our area. November is National Apprenticeship Month, and we encourage anyone interested in joining the growing trade workforce to visit tradesformers.com to learn more and to get started. The possibilities and career paths ahead of you are endless.
Great food, great atmosphere, and great service is Otavola Market Cafe. Otavola is simply a restaurant that focuses on that, being a great restaurant. There's something for everyone at Otavola. The menu offers a variety of great choices like pastas, pizzas, sandwiches, soups, salads, and seasonal rotating selections. Lunch or dinner, Otavola is always the right call. Call ahead and get Otavola to go, or stop by the bar for a drink with friends. It's simple. Come and eat at Otavola Market Cafe, Red Banks Road next to Food Lion, and OtavolaMarket.com. Otavola, Pirates supporting Pirates.
Sawyer's Fun Park is now open in Greenville. This state-of-the-art 40,000 square foot facility features a 2-story LED interactive laser tag, a one-of-a-kind 2-story ninja course, a ropes course with a 180-degree zip line, and it's only one of 5 in the country that are indoors. Multiple climbing walls, a super cool arcade with 40-plus games, and a brand-new full-service cafe and bar for adults. Visit the brand-new Sawyer's Fun Park, now open, located right behind ARU on Corey Road, Greenville.
In studio today with Showboat, also known as Kyle Alligood, to his friends and family. Why F3?
I come to F3 for just good old brotherhood and fellowship, and to get out to far sight, to come out here to get my heart and my mind right. And just being around these group of guys every day just makes me a better person.
One letter, one number, F3. Fitness, fellowship, and faith. All workouts are free of charge and open to all men. Leave no man behind, but leave no man where you find him. Learn more today at f3enc.com.
Hey everybody, this is David Glenn, and you're listening to my favorite station in Eastern North Carolina, Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
You're listening to The Brian Bailey Show. Now, back to Brian.
All right, welcome back on this Monday, getting your football week kicked off. Donnie Kirkpatrick, offensive coordinator at East Carolina, as the Pirates take on the Temple Owls. Temple comes in at 1-6. Pirates also 1-6. East Carolina has never beaten Temple as members of the American Athletic Conference. Back in the day, East Carolina pretty much dominated the series, but since the two teams joined the American, the Temple Owls have had the Pirates' number and have won 6 in a row against this East Carolina football team. So, Coach, the goal is to snap that streak, right?
Absolutely. I did not know that streak. Thanks for bringing that up, though.
Yeah.
But I knew that we've had some tough ones. I know we had a last time I went to Philadelphia, we played up there, and it was a sleet, cold day, and I know we outgained them about 600 yards to 152 yards and lost because of turnover. So I do remember that was a bad day. So I'd like to go up and erase that memory. I know we had a good competitive game with them here last year when the lights went out at the end of the game there, whatever. So didn't realize it's 6 straight, but we would love to snap that, and this would be a great time to do it.
Yeah, that's another. That was the start of this weird 2020. Was 2019 when the lights went out? We can blame that one, but that was absolutely bizarre, wasn't it?
That was very strange as well, but we had no idea it was going to get more strange, I guess, but it surely has.
Talk more about your running backs a little bit, and you touched on it a piece. They're doing a great job as far as running the football. They're doing, the yardage is there. They both had flashes of brilliance, but in the protection mode, and that's where we've seen some breakdowns with the offensive line and with the running backs, and teams are taking advantage of that, aren't they?
Well, they have, and like I say, two young rookies there that have done a great job running the ball, catching the ball out of the backfield. And it's not been a total disaster, but the other night, I think that Cincinnati had a good plan in some key passing situations to try to make them have to block the blitz. We were using them to chip and help the tackles a little bit, so they couldn't get the one-on-one rushes on them. That worked early. Then they started bringing the linebackers and bringing their nickel player to make those guys, and they got beat a couple of times, and so that's just part of them having to grow up and get better at the things they're probably not as used to having to do. In high school, you run the ball, they give you the ball, they wouldn't want you to block. Why would you're the guy should have the ball? You get to this level, though, you got to be able to do it all. And then if they have any aspirations of going on to the next level from here, they'll definitely have to be able to do that, because that's so important. But I think we've gotten so much better up front. The offensive line has been it's been a thing that every week you're trying to figure out who you've got. We've lost so many guys up front. First drive, we lose Deshaun Strother to an injury, and it looks like he'll probably be out the next 2 weeks, but it's not going to be something that'll keep him out for spring practice in the off season. So we're happy about that. We're sad that he won't be there for 2 weeks. So another adjustment this week that Coach Shankwater will have to come up with. And you're about to run out of bodies when you get to the end of the year here. But the one thing is, we've improved our run game so much. They block the run game so much better. Not every game, but for the most part, the whole season, they've done a nice job. Our biggest challenge now is to get the pass protection a little bit better, and that's something that we got to do the next 2 weeks, but that's something for the off season that we know we've got to improve on, because Holton is the kind of guy that if you give him time to throw the ball, he can be dominant, and he had been coming into the Cincinnati game. The 2 previous games, he had been about as good as you could be. He had been dead on it, and we've done a better job of protecting him and giving him a chance to have some time to throw the ball, and didn't do it as good a job as that the other night. And again, you got to give your credit somewhat to Cincinnati. They have some outstanding players, and they have an outstanding scheme. So, but we got to do a better job of protecting the quarterback.
And does Holton have to throw it away sometimes? I mean, do you get him on the side and say, "Hey, on that one, you just got to get rid of it"? Because I think he's such a competitor that he wants to make the big play and wants to make something happen. But every once in a while, just chunk that thing.
Well, you do, and he does some. But there are some situations where that's exactly what it is that you want a kid that's confident.
Right.
You want a guy that can go out and create some plays when plays break down. That's the game now. If you notice, Cincinnati's quarterback did a great job of that the other night. In the first quarter, we had them in 2 third down and long.
Yeah.
We had everybody covered, and we got pressure on the quarterback, and he was able to create with his feet and run and make first downs. Well, that breaks the defense down. Then another time, he was able to scramble and find a guy and throw the ball. So you work on that offensively too, because you want your guys to do that, and Holton has done that successfully many times. But there are a few times when it's just not going to be there, and you just got to get rid of it. Or sometimes you actually even have to take a sack that you don't want to take, but it's better than turning it over.
Yeah.
But again, that's the delicate line between being a competitor and making that great play, and then sometimes when it doesn't go right, that's the disaster, and it's just hard to judge. But you just work on it, and you just watch it on film, and you talk about it, and then you hope they're prepared, and you hope they get better, each week.
Yeah, and with Holton too, and I've known him since he was a baby, but he almost seems like he's carrying the weight of the whole football town on his shoulders sometimes. And when he's relaxed and enjoying things, and things are going well, but if something goes south, it seems like he really presses so hard, and it's really not fair for him. I mean, he's a quarterback, and he's a very good quarterback, but he's not the savior. I mean, you got to have a lot of parts in order to get this thing turned around, don't you?
Well, I think all quarterbacks would tell you, when the blocking's better or when the guys are open more, it makes it a lot easier.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Tom Brady would tell you that too, from one game to the next game. But I think you're really dead on it. Holton, I think, does feel the pressure of turning this program around. I think that's why he came here, because he loves the Pirates, he loves this university, he loves this town, and he just could not see himself leaving, because maybe East Carolina wasn't on top at that moment. I think he thought the challenge and the thing that he wants to do the most is get this thing back to where it's not only a competitive program, but a championship program. And when we have not been able to do that, he definitely takes it the hardest of all the kids on the team. And you do try to get him not to think like that, because I think he has played some great football games. The quarterback always gets a little too much credit, though, and he always takes a little bit too much blame. Like I say, sometimes those interceptions are your fault. Sometimes the guy runs the wrong route or runs a poor route or something like that happens, and nobody really always knows that. And he's not going to bring that up, because he's a team player.
Right.
But he does do a pretty good job of bouncing back after a tough outing. In the past, I think whenever he's had one, like, say, the Georgia State game or something like that, he's pretty geared up the next week, maybe even more than normal, which he's usually pretty ready to play anyhow, and he usually comes back and plays really, really well. So I'm really looking for him to have an outstanding day in Philadelphia Saturday.
Pirate Al's written in on our Facebook Live page, wants to know about a couple of players, how they're coming along. How about Ryan Stubblefield?
Stubblefield is an awesome young man. He's running the scout team, preparing our defense each week, and I think he's done a great job. Right now, you just don't have an opportunity to play a lot of different quarterbacks. And so what we've done this year is we felt like Mason was the guy to get the next amount of reps, and that's just due to his practice, play and those type of things and his potential. But Ryan can have a good career here too. We'll kind of see how it all plays itself out. It's just, quarterback's a tough position because you just don't bring in a lot of different guys like you do at other positions.
How about Taji Hudson?
Well, Taji is playing receiver now.
Yeah.
We did make the move to him, and that's a learning process. He's a really, really good athlete that had missed all but one game of his senior year. So just kind of getting him now learning how to play receiver. We do feel like he's part of the future in there. He's a great competitor. He's a kid that's going to be a smart player at receiver, having played quarterback and all that. At receiver right now, we've been fortunate that most of those guys have stayed healthy, and it's just been hard to get more guys on the field because you've got, Audie and CJ and Blake Prohl and Tyler Sneed, and now Josiah Hatfield has been back. And, we got a couple of good tight ends, so Taji hasn't gotten a lot of reps, but the future is there for him as well. We're really excited about it.
And finally, ask about Tyler Savage.
Tyler Savage is, these are guys that would all, in years past, what we would have said was we're redshirting them. This year, obviously, and with the new rule, you could play 4 games. You don't have to really do that. Again, we haven't had the big wins or whatever to get a lot of guys in. Tyler did have a little bit of an injury. He was out for about 3 weeks in there. He's back. He's practicing. Big, strong young man, can really catch. So he'll be in the future plans as well. We're excited about him too. He's doing a good job.
Donnie Kirkpatrick, our guest on this Monday. Let's take another commercial break. Back with more on our show for you right after this.
This is John Gavigan with the Gavigan Agency. Our top priority is doing what is best for our members. Whether you are buying a new vehicle, a new home, protecting your family with life insurance, or filing a claim, our agency will be there every step of the way. Our goal is to become a trusted advisor for you and your family for all of your personal and commercial insurance needs. Give us a call in Greenville at 756-1400 for a car, home, business, or life insurance quote today, and give us the opportunity to show you the benefits of doing business with someone who cares.
2020 certainly hasn't been the year many of us were hoping for, but one thing has stayed the same. I'm Tim Sutton with Greenville Auto World, and our commitment to our customers has never wavered. Let Greenville Auto World show you how easy it is to buy a quality used car in Greenville. We believe in fair prices, superior service, and treating customers right leads to satisfied repeat buyers. Your vehicle is a big investment, and our customers trust us to keep them up and running with outstanding service and value. With Greenville Auto World, cross from Hardee's at Bell's Fork.
Hi, I'm Ken Hagler of Taft and Hagler. We're proud to be sponsors of the Brian Bailey Show and the Pirate Nation on Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation. If you've been injured on the job or due to someone else's negligence in an automobile collision, call us at 752-2000 for a free consultation with experienced professionals who care. Go Pirates!
Hey, this is Jay from Villa Verde. Did you know that Villa Verde opened up its second location? Yes, it's Villa Verde Dos on Arlington Boulevard across the hospital. This new location is a fast, casual environment where you can make your own bowls for only $9.95. Choose from our fresh ingredients from our toppings bars or enjoy an amazing rotisserie chicken. We promise you can be in and out in less than 15 minutes. For a quick, healthy meal at an affordable price, visit us at Villa Verde Dos on Arlington Boulevard. Villa Verde, a platform for good.
University PC Care has been the Pirate Nation's go-to IT expert since 2006. They thank you for your continued support and trust during these trying times. Many services can be done remotely and free pickup and delivery is available. As a Dell business partner and Apple authorized service provider, you can count on University PC Care for all your personal and business tech support needs. To make a remote appointment or to bring in your device for service at their Greenville or New Bern locations, call 558-1280 or go online at universitypccare.com.
Let us help you get back to business.
This is Donald Stocks
and Justin Judge of PIP of Eastern North Carolina.
We're ready to assist your business with branded PPE. Would you like face masks with your logo? We can do that. Plus custom social distancing signage.
Now is the time to ramp up your marketing efforts. Whether it's cutting edge, contactless, touchless marketing, or traditional direct mail, we can do it all.
We are PIP of Eastern North Carolina.
Hi, this is Phil Steele of Phil Steele's College Football Preview Magazine, and you're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of Pirate Nation.
You're listening to The Brian Bailey Show. Now, back to Brian.
All right, welcome back on this Monday. Donnie Kirkpatrick, the offensive coordinator at East Carolina, is our guest. We're talking Pirate football against the Temple Owls. Noon kickoff in Philadelphia, Lincoln Financial Field this weekend. Coach, do the guys get excited when they go to an NFL stadium? Because you guys played in one at Raymond James down against South Florida. But is that something the guys talk about a little bit?
You know, they love the one in Tampa, so hopefully they're going to love the one in Philadelphia too. It's kind of got its good, it's kind of got its bad. This year, it's all the same because the crowds aren't there anyhow. They're huge stadiums, and so they have a hard time filling them, and so sometimes they don't have much of an atmosphere, and that's the way it was when we used to play in the Superdome. So I know as coaches, we never did seem to like it, but this year when there's no crowds, there's the artificial noise, and I think in Tampa, it had a great feel to it, and they really enjoyed the facility and looking around and walking around and thinking about who's been on this field, who plays on this field, and what a nice dressing room it is, and just the whole gig when you pull in there. So this stadium will be like that too, and so hopefully we will have a good track, and who knows? Maybe that's our good luck thing. We need to play in more NFL stadiums.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Temple is 80th nationally in total defense, so they've given up a lot of yards. They've given up points. It looks like it's a defense you guys can certainly put some dents in and score some points, doesn't it?
Well, we got to. Now I don't think they're slack by no matter. They did lose a guy to the transfer portal that was a dominant player from last year, and they did lose some seniors. But they're pretty stout up front. They've been a little bit accessible to the big play. They play really good, and then somebody's had a breakdown, and they've given up a big play. So that's kind of been the thing that's gotten them, and we need to take advantage of that as well. We need to be able to run the ball on these guys, and we need to be able to throw the ball and get that balance, because that's when we're at our best, when we're doing both well. We've had games where we've done that. South Florida being the one that resulted in a win, but there have been other games where we played well and weren't able to win because we were able to get that balance. Last week, ran the ball well, did not get the yards in the passing game. The week before that, got the yards in the passing game. We're not able to run the ball very well against Tulane, so we're going to look to get that balance, get both things going, and we need to control the game, keep our defense off the field, and keep them out of short field situations. And I think we'll have a great chance to win the game.
You know, Tulsa entered the top 25 this week, and you think back to that game, and a lot of times coaches will say we can't let one loss, beat us twice. And you almost look at what's happened to this East Carolina team that maybe that one loss was so devastating that maybe it had an effect in the Cincinnati game because the team was rolling in the Tulsa game and things were going right, and you should have gotten a win. There's no question about that. The American basically said that when they put their statement out, but I know the other adage is you can't cry over spilled milk, but bouncing back from a loss like that is very difficult, isn't it?
Well, I think all these losses, they beat you down, and the losses here, especially with the older kids, have gotten to be, just so many, and you're just trying to change the culture. You're trying to get them to believe, but there still is that doubt, I think, that still creeps back into some of them's minds, that something's bad's going to happen, and it always does. And Tulsa was an example of that, where you have a 17-3 lead, and then it starts to evaporate. But you come back and you score late to think, okay, we're over that. We're learning to win now. We're going to be able to do it. And then, to no fault of your own, probably to be real about it, you get the game taken away from you. So it does suck a lot of air out of you. We tried like crazy to act like it was a win as much as we could just for the momentum, but I don't know that you really get that satisfaction when you don't actually win. So, again, I don't know if it's had anything to do. I think as a coaching staff, we felt like we were on a really good roll. South Florida, we really thought, without Holton, we played pretty good against Navy.
Yeah.
Good enough to maybe have won the game. We surely felt like we'd have won the game if we'd have had him. Then, at Tulsa, we feel like we won that game, and we don't feel like maybe we played quite as well or as precise or with the same amount of edge the last 2 weeks. Again, Cincinnati's an outstanding team, so you're going to have to play really, really good to beat them at home up there on senior night. Tulane had started slowly, so people probably didn't respect them enough. Now, the last couple of weeks, I guess they've kind of shown that they're rolling pretty good, that they've got a pretty good established program down there. So, again, this league's just tough. There's a couple of great teams that are ranked. There's some teams that don't have great records down here still that we're trying to get ahead of, and we got a chance to do that. But even the teams at the bottom are pretty darn good right now, so you got to bring it every week.
Got to try to get CJ going again. It seems like he hasn't had the year that maybe we thought he would have. How do you get him the football, and how does he break through and really shine like he can?
Well, that's been frustrating.
Yeah.
That's a lot of people have asked, and we've tried each week too. And I don't know, the sophomore slump, people, brought that up, and I don't know, that it just happened to be one of those years. There's some things that we got to do better to get him involved in it. There's some things he's got to do better and play better and maybe eliminate some mental mistakes that he's having right now. He has been a little banged up. You don't like to report so much of that.
Yeah.
With some things like with an ankle that have slowed him a little bit. He's not quite as explosive as you'd like for him to be right now. I think the other big thing is teams have really geared up for him, and they've played him tough. They put a good guy on him. They've held him a lot. He has thrown a lot of pass interferences, but you don't get that great satisfaction out of that penalty.
Yeah.
And you get the 15-yard penalty. You don't get the big play that maybe you would get if he gets the catch and then gets the run. So it has hurt us, but again, we got 2 games to get him going to build. He's still a second-year player. He's very young. And he's still got a great career ahead of him, and we still believe in him, and I think he's still a confident young man. Again, sometimes you have that huge freshman year. It's a little hard to come back and sometimes top that the very next year, but I think he's learning from all this.
And you look at this wide receiving core. I mean, Tyler Snead has had some monster games. Blake Prohl has had some monster games. And if all these guys put it all together at the same time, you're going to be fine.
Well, we are, and that's the thing. We talk about, well, we got to get this guy the ball. And, last week Josiah Hatfield was coming back, and in our pregame meetings, Coach Houston had mentioned, hey, Josiah looks like he's ready to go play well because he's practiced well that week. And we're like, yeah. And he's like, how are we going to get him the ball? So, okay, you're game planning to get him the ball at the same time. Like you say, you want to get it to CJ. Well, Tyler. If Blake Prohl had just had the big game.
Yeah.
You don't want to get too far away from Raji. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So sometimes it sounds weird, but sometimes, there's not enough balls for everybody to just get the touches. So everybody has to play a complete game. You can't totally judge how everybody's playing by how many times they touch or how many yards they have. Sometimes it comes your way. Sometimes the defense kind of dictates who the ball is going to go to a little bit by how they set the defense.
When you look at Temple on tape, do they blitz a lot?
Not a huge blitz team.
Yeah.
Really more of a standard type defense. Now, they're a little more 4-down, that used to be the standard. Now everybody's a 3-down defense. They're a little bit more of the 4-down, and then get into some of the odd fronts in 3rd down. But they're stout up front, and they rush the passer well just with the regular defensive linemen. So it's not a huge all-out blitz team. It's just really more of a base team that plays really good fundamental football.
Yeah, and when you think about Temple football, you think about those big guys on the offensive line and the defensive line. And I talked to Coach Houston earlier today, and he said that's exactly what you got. They haven't had the year that they thought they would have, but they've got those big guys up front, don't they?
Well, I know they're feeling a lot like we are. This is a team that went to a bowl game last year and had bowl games for several years here. They'd had a lot of success. They've been in the conference race the last several years all the way back to Matt Rule and to Jeff Collins. Okay, and this group last year took them still back to another bowl game. They were ranked some last year. They knocked off some good teams last year. So I'm sure that they're disappointed in the outcome hasn't been there for them. They they didn't start playing until October the 10th, so
right.
It's a little bit of a different approach to the way it went with them. I don't know if that's helped them or hurt them. They might be fresher down the stretch here. Maybe it got them off to a bad start in that they were behind, everybody else, because everybody they played had already played games, and those are pretty valuable up to a certain point. So, again, all the record goes out the window right now. There's a couple of us bunched up down at the bottom, which is where nobody wants to be. But if you could go finish strong, you could make some progress with getting a couple more conference wins, which has been something that East Carolina hadn't done for a couple of years.
Yeah, and you gotta hold on to the football. You gotta control the line of scrimmage. I think running the football and throwing the football. And luckily, I think you're going to get a break with the weather. Cause I think it's going to be okay up there. So it's going to be a tough one because I think that's how Temple football is. But I think it's certainly one that you can go up and you can have a lot of success at it.
That's what we're counting on. I think all those things are true. And again, we're Monday's a big game plan day. It's the players' academic day. So they don't really do football activities, but we'll be back at it tomorrow. And what we're trying to teach is just take it one day at a time. Have good meetings, then have a good practice, then stack that up with the next day. And if you keep doing that, then you'll play better on the weekend.
Donnie Kirkpatrick joining us today. Donnie, we're going to let you go. We know you got a busy day ahead of you trying to get that game planning down. I want you to know, though, my Cowboys were off this weekend and picked up a half game on the whole division.
Well, that division, I wish we were in that division right there. I think we could do some damage in that one there, too.
I think you're right. You're exactly right. Donnie Kirkpatrick joining us today. Donnie, thanks so much again. Appreciate your time on this Monday, and good luck this week at Temple.
Thank you very much.
I appreciate it. Donnie Kirkpatrick, offensive coordinator at East Carolina. We will take our final break of the hour and come back and wrap up this edition of the Brian Bailey Show on Monday after this.
This football season, prepare your taste buds for the most iconic sports watching drink of all time, Pepsi. Designed to power even the most passionate of armchair quarterbacks, Pepsi has everything you need to start strong, keep you in the zone, and recover from those triumphant wins.
Before I was just your average football fan, but thanks to Pepsi, I'm a football-watching MVP. Nothing can stop me from cheering my team on to victory or overreacting when the ref makes a bad call. What do you mean he wasn't in? That looks like 2 feet to me.
With refreshing deliciousness specially formulated to keep your eye on the ball and mouth-watering fizziness to help you power through game day, Pepsi is the premier football-watching beverage.
I used to care when Mike cheered so hard he spilled nacho cheese on my carpet or wiped buffalo sauce on my new couch. But thanks to Pepsi, I'm so in the zone, even Mike can't ruin my football party. See? Don't even care.
So this football season, make Pepsi your go-to game day drink because it's the only drink made for football watching. Pepsi, that's what I like.
It's bow time.
The barbecue sandwich from Bojangles is back. Wait, Bojangles has barbecue?
Yeah, keep going.
Well, okay then. We're talking tender pulled pork with a tangy Carolina vinegar kick. Unforgettably topped with our country coleslaw, all on perfectly toasted buns. So if you're like me and missed it last time, get your hands on a barbecue sandwich combo pronto.
It's bow time.
BMS Builders is your premier custom builder in eastern North Carolina. With Blackwood and Mills Creek in Greenville, Dalton's Cove in Farmville, and Belmar and Ayden, these are just a few of the developments featuring BMS Builders homes. They can build the home of your dreams. Just ask Dr. Dennis Ross in Greenville or East Carolina football coach Mike Houston. They built their homes, and they can build yours as well. BMS Builders. Give them a call at 916-1578 for BMS Builders.
At Tiebreakers, we pride ourselves on serving
big, juicy wings.
I'm talking
big and juicy.
Our chickens are the same ones that kick sand in the other chickens' faces. If our chickens played football, they'd be linebackers. The competition's chickens, they'd be
skinny little kickers.
Trade those kickers in for linebackers.
Tiebreakers is open every day at 11 a.m. Follow Tiebreakers on Facebook and Instagram for daily updates.
Hi, I'm Annalie Newhoff.
And I'm Rob Campbell.
And we are with CopyPro. We have been locally owned and operated here in eastern North Carolina for almost 50 years. CopyPro is the leader in office technology.
Does your business struggle with keeping printing costs low or producing professional documents? Here at CopyPro, total customer satisfaction is our #1 priority.
We have a variety of solutions to help reduce your printing expenses and make your business more productive. Call us today at 1-800-682-6558 or online at copypro.net.
CopyPro. We are the professional office systems people.
Pirate Radio.
And you write that down, because when you're at East Carolina, you go for it every time. Or you don't coach at East Carolina, you don't come to East Carolina, you don't play at East Carolina with a weak heart. Write it!
The voice of the Pirate Nation. You're listening to The Brian Bailey Show. Now, back to Brian.
All right, wrapping up this edition of The Brian Bailey Show on this Monday. Temple comes to play East Carolina at 1-6 on the season. Pirates also at 1-6. You look at this Temple Owl football team, and the Owls lost a close one to Navy to start their season. As Coach said, they didn't start until October the 10th. They lost 31-29 to the Middies, and then they came back at home and knocked off South Florida 39-37. And since then, they have lost 4 games in a row, most recently to UCF. That was last Saturday, 38-13. Blown out in that game, blown out by SMU, 47-23. Blown out by Tulane 38-3, and then they lost 41-29 to the Memphis Tigers in that 4-game losing streak. So Temple is desperate for a win, as is East Carolina in this matchup between the Pirates and the Owls. Temple has won 6 straight against East Carolina. East Carolina has never beaten the Temple Owls as members of the American Athletic Conference. So 12 noon kickoff for East Carolina and Temple this week. 12 noon kickoff for East Carolina and SMU back at Dowdy-Ficklin Stadium coming up next week. So both Saturdays to come. The Bud Light pregame tailgate right here on Pirate Radio kicks off at 8 a.m., and I'll be a part of the 9 a.m. hour with Clip Brock. Hope he's feeling better today. I want to thank everybody for joining us on this Monday, kicking off your football week. Pirates and the Owls coming up on Saturday. Enjoy your week, and we'll see you back here next time on The Brian Bailey Show.
This has been The Brian Bailey Show, brought to you by
Bostic Sugg Furniture, Bojangles, East Coast Grading, Angus Grill, Gavigan Insurance, BMS Builders, The Rick House, Greenville Auto World, Papa John's, Pepsi, Taft and Hagler, and by Tiebreakers.
Join us next time for another edition of The Brian Bailey Show, exclusively on Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.